In less than 12 hours, polls will open across our region for Tennessee state and federal primary elections. News Channel 11 is your local election headquarters. I'm Sarah Diamond.
And I'm Josh Smith. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us live here on WJHL.com for the next half hour or so. We're going to set the stage for what is set to play out tomorrow. One of the most significant primaries and elections in a few years. And of course, all this is leading up to November, the big presidential election coming later this year.
Yeah, tonight we have some expert analysis on the races to follow. News Channel 11 digital reporter Jeff Keeling is with us tonight, and we are so appreciative of you being here. We knew this campaign would be a busy one, possibly a nasty one for some races, but it seems to have been even more expensive, maybe a little more bitter than we first imagined. What are your thoughts? Agree, disagree?
Absolutely. You know, we haven't had a contested primary with a large field in the 1st Congressional District since 2006 when Bill Jenkins retired, so we knew that was going to be a crowded primary with a lot of money spent. Up to close to $6 million at this point on that campaign. And then we've also got,
we'll come back to Jeff in just a second. The biggest race on the ballot tomorrow is the U.S. Senate, of course. Retiring Senator Lamar Alexander currently holds that position. He announced back in December of 2018 that he would not seek a 4th term. 15 Republicans are vying for Alexander's seat as of right now.
The top candidates, they were in the Tri-Cities today. One of them, Bill Hagerty, and the other, Dr. Manny Sethi, in a race many didn't think would be close. It's now apparently a very close race. Hagerty, the former ambassador to Japan, Sethi, a trauma surgeon at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville. The race between these two has not only received some statewide attention, of course, but also national attention. As recently as today, Politico called Tennessee's Republican U.S. Senate primary the nastiest in the country. The New York Times today was previewing this race as being an example of the shift in the Republican Party in Tennessee. Now, a poll conducted for News Channel 11 gave us a bit of insight about the Senate race. And Jeff, you've been following a lot of polls lately. The latest one showing Hagerty ahead, which, I mean, a few months ago, most would have guessed he would have been far ahead of anybody, but not that much ahead. What are you seeing?
well, first, my lips are moving. Can you hear me talking now?
I can hear you
Absolutely,
talking now.
yes.
Great. So yeah, a couple months ago, you know, Bill Hagerty wasn't even paying attention to Manny Sethi, and his polls showed him up 17 points. Now, Sethi at the same time, just a month ago, was showing himself down just 2. I think it was 33 to 31%. And we have a poll that we've worked with Spry Strategies on a month ago, and then just last week, same question asked, and they were about 6.7 points apart with Hagerty ahead. So that is probably pretty close to accurate. Again, those polls that the internal candidacies are showing, I heard just today that Sethi's people are saying that he's ahead by 5 statewide and by 10 in Northeast Tennessee. Again, these are internal polls, but he certainly seems to have gained some ground. Hagerty's taking him, I think, a lot more seriously than he was a couple of months ago.
I mean, we did this poll about a month apart, and it was the same poll. Did you see shifts from one to the other when it comes to the Hagerty-Sethi race?
Not really in the Hagerty-Sethi race. That was 6 to 7 points in both of those, honestly. So I want to say another thing about this. Indeed, this race is considered quite nasty, and I was looking today and see that Outside Money has spent $1.6 million on attack ads against Sethi, $1 million on attack ads against Hagerty, $1.4 million spent on pro-Sethi ads, and this is all dark money that you know, you don't even know who's really giving money to those organizations. So massive amounts of money going in. $13 million in the Hagerty campaign, $5 million in the Sethi campaign.
It's difficult because one candidate's polls supposedly say one thing and the other candidate's polls supposedly say another. So it's kind of difficult when you're trying to figure out who to vote for and who you're going to back, which one to believe. And
they're telling very different stories, aren't they? I mean, based on the polling that they're saying that they're seeing versus the polling that we're seeing, right?
Sure. I mean, you know, Hagerty's people were saying he's got a huge lead not too long ago. They're still saying that he's got a significant lead, but Sethi's folks say, hey, he's coming on. They were saying he's coming on. Now what I'm hearing is they're saying, hey, he has overtaken Hagerty. We're going to find out soon enough.
That is true. Well, Tri-Cities voters clearly high importance for the candidates who both spent some of their final hours leading up to tomorrow's primary election right here in our region. We caught up with Hagerty this morning as he visited Johnson City, and he commented on his virtual campaign rally tonight that will include President Trump.
The president is pumped up about this race. He wants to have a true ally with him, a true conservative that he's had experience working with. And I've worked with the president full time for the past 4.5 years as a member of the administration. In fact, I'll be the first member of the Trump administration to serve in the United States Senate.
As we know, President Donald Trump has endorsed Hagerty several times, even before the candidate announced that he was actually running for the Senate seat. The third endorsement came in a tweet last week that you see there on your screen. The president called Hagerty an outstanding man and one of the best ambassadors ever. Hagerty served as Tennessee Victory Chair during President Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Now, former Vice President Mike Pence has also endorsed Hagerty, as well as Vice President Mike Pence also endorsed Hagerty, as well as U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. So he has some support in some high places.
Manny Sethi ended his day in Jonesboro after sweeping the state. His big endorsement that we told you about a few weeks ago came from Texas Senator, former presidential candidate Ted Cruz. In July, the Texas senator came to Jonesboro announcing that he was backing Manny Sethi, and he urged conservatives to do the same. Cruz told us it was an easy choice for him, choosing Sethi because of his conservative Christian values. United States Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky also endorsed Sethi. The Republican said Sethi is like him and that he is, quote, a physician, not another politician. Now, today, public health officials announced that Manny Sethi and Bill Hagerty were both potentially exposed to COVID-19 during a Republican Party dinner in Chattanooga. That was last Friday. While he was campaigning in Jonesboro earlier tonight, Manny Sethi told News Channel 11 he has so far been asymptomatic, but he planned to get a rapid test tonight. We asked him if he agreed with wearing face masks and if he encouraged others to do the same.
I think masks in high-density areas of disease are good. I don't agree with mask mandates. I just don't think they're constitutional. I think that should be a patient choice.
It should be noted that while in Washington County, Tennessee, where there is a mask mandate, he and others were not wearing masks at that public event. Hagerty posted on Twitter that he was notified and was tested for COVID-19 as soon as possible, and tonight he said he has gotten the results back and they're negative. So good news there.
It is. Republicans have held both of Tennessee's U.S. Senate seats since 1994, but that is not stopping 5 Democrats from trying to break that streak. Here are some U.S. Senate Democratic candidates you will see on the ballot tomorrow. Marquita Bradshaw of Memphis, Gary Davis of Nashville, and Nashville lawyer Robin Kimbrough. A Nashville lawyer, Mark Pickrell, and James Mackler, who's also a Nashville lawyer. Now, Mackler has the endorsement of former Tennessee Governor Phil Bredesen. And now, Jeff, you actually spoke with Mackler back in May, combat veteran, and he told you he's more like Senator Lamar Alexander than his Republican opponent, Bill Hagerty.
What he meant by that, I think, is that he sees the Senate as a place where bipartisanship is still something that can be salvaged, and that good legislation and good governance takes place when there is bipartisanship and working across the aisle. And had a good conversation with him back in May. He is definitely the clear favorite to win the Democratic primary. He's raised over $2.3 million from individuals, has not taken any PAC money. So he's got a decent war chest, but it's not approaching those of the 2 Republican main candidates.
That is true.
You know, the New York Times today article, which was to me stunning, in that they talked about how, by the way, Bill Hagerty may have violated federal election rules. That was the insinuation they made in the article by taking that donation from Mitt Romney, which he then turned around and gave back. But the genesis of the article was that this is not Lamar Alexander's Republican Party anymore, and it seems like James Mackler wanted to draw that point, that in terms of a centrist candidate, there's not one running right now for the Republican nomination, that he's kind of closer to that Lamar, Bob Corker center of the party. Do you see him making that connection?
Well, look, he's got to get the support of progressives in Tennessee too, but that's probably not going to be that hard. Now, if he really if he somehow manages to win the general election, will he govern as a centrist Democrat? I really don't know. But I can tell you this, whether it's the Senate campaign here or the GOP congressional campaign, people are running from the moderate label as fast and as far as they can.
Yeah,
that's the Trump effect.
Yeah, who is the most friendly with Donald Trump?
Trump
is
conservative,
for sure.
Right.
Now, if you're watching this tonight and you're going, wait a minute, what about the congressional race? Are y'all not going to talk about that? Here we go. There is another big one on the ballot tomorrow, and it is for the United States Congress from Northeast Tennessee. This is the one you're hearing all about because we have 16 Republican hopefuls who are trying to win the nomination in hopes of replacing Dr. Phil Rowe, longtime congressman from Johnson City, who announced earlier this year that somehow or other he's had enough of Washington and he's going to come home, and that is after 6 terms. The first district known for long-serving representatives. Once you get in, you can stay in, not always, but Dr. Rowe, one of just 8 people, all Republicans, to have represented the district in nearly a century. So let's get to some of the others. The top 7 Republicans vying for Rowe's first district seat: longtime Tennessee Senator from Johnson City, Rusty Crowe; Kingsport pharmacist Diana Harshbarger; State Representative from Blountville, Timothy Hill; former Kingsport Mayor John Clark; and then former Johnson City Mayor Steve Darden. Knoxville dermatologist Josh Gapp, also a candidate as his state representative from Greenville, David Hawk. Those aren't all of them, but those are, I think most would agree, kind of the leaders so far. And then there was this poll that was conducted for News Channel 11 that kind of looked at the race. Jeff, that poll showed a very much tighter race than we saw a few weeks ago when the first poll was run, right?
That's right. Again, that was with Surprise Strategies. Ryan Burrell's the CEO of that company, and they ran 2 identical polls a month apart, so you could call it a tracking poll. And in that first poll, Diana Harshbarger, the political newcomer, was at 22.4%. Look, she's dropped in this poll to 15.8% into a virtual tie with Rusty Crowe. So you've got a political newcomer, businesswoman, and a 30-year senator from the state Senate in a virtual dead heat. You had Josh Gapp making a large gain from about 5.9% to 11.7%. He's another political newcomer who's spent a lot of his own cash. And then Timothy Hill, a little bit of a surprise. He dropped just a little bit. But you've got 6 people within the margin of error. It's a 4.5% margin of error, up or down. And so it's going to look a whole lot, I think, like the last 2 races when a congressman was retiring. That was 2006 when David Davis actually won and then was ousted by Rowe 2 years later. And in 1996 when Bill Jenkins won. Both of those were crowded and extremely close races.
It's a coveted position, that's for sure. Money has been pouring in to the first congressional district Republican primary. We have followed this, and I know you have followed this as well. And you found the majority, like you mentioned earlier, a majority is coming from the candidates' own pockets.
It is. In the 06 race, there was one very wealthy businessman from Greenville named Richard Roberts who spent $2.1 million of his own money. That accounted for about half of the total money spent in that race. Here we have 3 who have raised $1 million or more or close to it, and that's Diana Harshbarger and Josh Gapp, the two newcomers. $6 million just about, and 3.4 million of that, almost 3.5, has come from self-funding. Again, the 3 people who have raised the most money on themselves are Diana Harshbarger, over 1.4 million, Josh Gapp, 1.1 million, and John Clark has put nearly $800,000 of his own money, the former Kingsport mayor. They comprise the vast majority of that 3.4 million in self-funding. We also have then the kind of the good old standard individual donations, the way they used to do it, and those have gone most to Rusty Crowe, but you can see they pale in comparison to the amount of self-funding.
Right.
Crowe's raised about $362,000 from well over 100 donors. Steve Darden, another Washington County, is second in that, and Timothy Hill is third. But the total amount of individual donations is 1.2 million, barely over a third of the amount of self-funding.
Jeff, PAC funding, that political action committee, some of it we know who it came from, or like Club for Growth, they made a very clear entrance into the race. Some of it you referred to as dark money, which who knows who's giving to support the PAC. You found the majority of the money actually went to just one candidate, right?
went to one candidate or really on behalf of one candidate, absolutely, and that's Timothy Hill. You know, Timothy Hill's a young conservative, and he has clearly gotten himself some reputation with conservatives in Washington, and one of those organizations, the Club for Growth, touts itself as an economically conservative organization that is always looking to keep taxes low. And they endorsed Hill on July the 7th. Not long after that, they began ads on his behalf. Those started as positive ads touting Timothy Hill. They soon turned to attacks primarily on Diana Harshbarger, but also on Rusty Crowe and eventually Josh Gap.
Well, let's talk about those ads now,
Yeah,
because
they're
you see them
humdingers.
everywhere and constantly. Viewers watching News Channel 11 regularly have seen plenty of attack ads on several candidates. Jeff, talk about what you have learned and what impact you think these negative ads might have on the race. Is it helping the candidate that these ads are supporting, or is it doing the opposite?
Well, I mean, I've done a little research into negative ads. I don't think people would spend this much money on negative ads if they didn't think that they worked, and they've been around for a long time. I remember Michael Dukakis backwards in the tank. That was 30-some years ago. So they work.
We just lost half our audience.
That's right. They started late in the campaign. I mean, the Club for Growth came out at the same day as a dark money PAC called the Bless Your Heart Coalition. We don't know where their money came from, with ads that came after Harshbarger and the business that her husband ran that she says she had nothing to do with. But that's not what the ads say. You know, most of these ads, the facts have been stretched. We've done a lot of fact checking on these, and whether it be direct mailers or television ads that I've seen, most of the time, even when there was a grain of truth, certainly it was stretched, you know, and that's the way negative ads work. One thing I found in the research is that if they come directly from a candidate, they tend to work better than if they come from a PAC. So maybe Diana Harshbarger, who has been the one coming out in her own negative ads saying, this is what I've got to say about these people, that may work better for her.
We'll see. We shall see. All right, several state representative seats are also going to be on the ballot as you head to the polls tomorrow in the heated race for the District 7 seat. This is a lot of Washington County. A political action committee is spending thousands of dollars in hopes of defeating the incumbent State Representative Matthew Hill, brother of Timothy Hill, who's running for Congress. House District 7 includes Jonesboro and part of Washington County, Tennessee. That's kind of been part of the issue at this race, is exactly where is District 7, right? They're hoping to represent the district that Hill has held the seat up since 2004. He's up against political newcomer, Jonesboro businesswoman Rebecca Alexander. There's no Democratic candidate in this race, and so Jeff, whoever wins the primary is essentially the de facto winner of the race. This is the Hills' first significant primary in years, right? Quite a challenge from Rebecca Alexander here.
It is. Matthew Hill, my mistake,
The brother.
had a pretty good challenge in 2014 when former Johnson City Commissioner Phil Carragher ran against him. Carragher outspent him, and Carragher outraised him and lost by 10 points. And there are a lot of people who, for a good long time, have wanted to see Matthew Hill ousted in that seat. And Matthew Hill has a solid base of support, and he has so far thwarted those designs by other people. So, you know, we've got something a little bit different this year, but we don't know whether that's going to be enough to knock Matthew off.
Well, there's a new element in this year's primary, and that's the PAC.
That's right. There's a political action committee called the East Tennessee PAC. I've been following it since I saw those mailers start to come out, and that PAC has spent, what, $53,000. So you look at the spending between Alexander and Matthew Hill, and it's almost identical. But you throw in that PAC money, and all that PAC money is designed to make Matthew Hill look bad. Okay. So they have been sending direct mailers to voters throughout the 7th District. And I looked and tried to find out who these folks were. I mean, we know who some of the people are that support the candidates that have opposed Matthew Hill, both this year and in 2014. But as far as this East Tennessee PAC, it's headquartered in Ohio. It just started about a month ago. And the money that was donated to it, $65,000, came from another 501c4 nonprofit that's also headquartered in Ohio. So that's how this dark money in politics works. People can donate to another type of nonprofit, and then that nonprofit donates to the PAC, and you actually never know who the people are. It's hard to imagine for me that it's a bunch of people in Ohio that know who
Hill-
Matthew Hill is and want him out of
Yeah.
office.
Matthew Hill told you why he thought they were coming after him, didn't he?
He
In your
did.
one-on-one.
Sure. He said that, you know, he's a conservative, a Christian conservative that stands up for certain issues that they are not as strong in their stances on, and they're using what he called a nameless, faceless pack to try to attack his record. And you know, the facts that we checked in those, again, just like the other fact checking. I mean, he even copped to some of it. One of it was, you know, some taxes not being paid. He said, "Look, that's true. I'm working on paying those, and we're making some progress." And the others were, again, stretched a little bit, you know, as negative ads tend to do.
Well, and by the way, if you have not watched Jeff's online interviews on WJHL.com, you can see right now the full interviews that you did with all the candidates, in which Matthew Hill offered some explanations for some of those races.
Right.
Now, we are going to talk about another state race that we're watching closely. That's the Tennessee House race, a newcomer hoping to knock out the incumbent state representative who's held that seat for nearly a decade. Micah Van Huss has represented a portion of Washington County. This is kind of the other part of Washington County since 2012. He says he wants to keep serving for years to come. He has an opponent, Tim Hicks. He says that Hicks, you'll see if you've seen his signs, you know he believes he is the fresh start, and there are those candidates. Hicks, a residential developer from Gray, with no real previous political experience, which he has said is an advantage in this. Both candidates have said a priority is setting the economy back on track after the pandemic. The winner of the primary tomorrow will compete against Brad Batt, who ran unopposed in the Democratic primary. And now to the GOP primary for District 3 House, which represents Johnson and part of Sullivan and Carter counties. State Representative Timothy Hill currently holds that seat. He did not seek re-election because he's running for Congress in the primary. Competing for Hill's seat, Scotty Campbell and Neil Kearney, neither candidate new to politics. Campbell actually served a term for the 3rd District in the Tennessee House back in 2010. Neil Kearney is a lieutenant colonel in the Tennessee National Guard, and he has made 3 previous attempts at state office. No candidates qualified for the Democratic primary, no independents filed to appear on the November ballot. And Jeff, interesting to note that Campbell actually held the District 3 seat before Hill, and now he's hoping to move back in. This is an open seat. Who's running the race, do you feel?
Campbell probably has more name recognition, and you know, he was on Super Talk as a host. Fun fact, he's also the only person who has defeated Timothy Hill, because Timothy Hill ran in that 2010 primary and Scotty won that primary. Timothy Hill ran second. So Campbell stepped down after 1 term, but he's hoping to go back into the State House again. And you know, Neil Kearney has tried a couple times before, and like you said, and you know, I know he's working hard out there, but I would say that Campbell is probably the favorite. And in terms of, if I can, just back to the 6th district,
sure.
You know, Van Huss and Hill are often kind of seen as a pair almost. And so the Hicks-Alexander, they'll be together tomorrow at the Carnegie for their, you know, for their watch party. So they kind of come in pairs, and they have a lot of the same support. And it really shows the divisions that exist within Washington County and Republican politics, whether it's state house races or the county commission. And in the newsroom, we know all about that, because we see that there's a schism on the county commission even, you know, and this has been going on for years. And I don't know whether maybe that's good for our local politics. You certainly have 2 groups that have different stances. And, you know, when a state or an area is deep red or deep blue, politicians are going to find something to break into factions about. That's my opinion.
That is true. 3 Republicans are in the primary for the District 4 House seat. That represents Unicoi and part of Carter County. The incumbent, John Holtzclaw, has served in office since 2014. Right now he's up against Carter County Commissioner and Quillen College of Medicine Professor Robert Acuff and Tim Lingerfeld, who challenged Holtzclaw, you'll remember, in the 2018 primary. Bobby Harrell ran unopposed in the Democratic primary. The Republican candidate who wins tomorrow's primary will go head-to-head with Harrell in November. Now, for those of you heading to the polls tomorrow, you're going to see several other races on that ballot.
Yeah, that's right. They include school board seats in Sullivan County, Washington County, Unicoi County, and Johnson County as well. Voters in our region will also elect some constables. They'll serve their districts in the respective counties. There is a very fierce race in Elizabethton for a judge position, and also the race for the mayor of Baileyton, Tennessee, right there in Greene County. Big time local politics. Before you cast your ballot, make sure you check out our website, WJHL.com. By the way, you're there now, so you can just look around while you're visiting. You'll find everything from polling information to a question and answer interview session with the 3 candidates, which we can't, especially for Congress, highly recommend enough, because that was you, Jeff, sitting there asking them questions, basically the same questions for all the candidates. No flash, no trash, no PAC money. It's just you get a good look at who they are, right?
You sure do. And back to that race, you know, this has been exciting. I mean, like you said, Republican congresspeople in our district tend to serve for several terms, as Roe has so ably done. And so you've got a crowded field, and look, history shows that this is probably going to be a very close race. Maybe we'll be surprised, but we had 14% undecided in that last poll. You had 0.3% separating the top 2, just a few percent between the rest of them. So, you know, I think it's almost anybody's ball game. And you also have the phenomenon of Democrats. We haven't elected a Democrat here since 1870 or so, maybe 1868. So, you know, Blair Walsingham is going to run she's going to run a hard campaign, but she knows she's got an uphill battle. Sometimes Democrats cross over and vote in the Republican primary. As a matter of fact, when Phil Rowe knocked off David Davis after one term by just a few hundred votes as well, there was a lot of complaint from the Davis camp that, gee, all these Democrats crossed over and voted in that primary. Well, we have open primaries in Tennessee, and so it's fully within their rights to do that. So if enough Democrats cross over, they're probably not being picked up in these polls, and they coalesce around one candidate, that could provide a pretty big boost to that one candidate. I guess it depends on whether they think one of these candidates who's running would be either less offensive or even acceptable to them compared to the rest. But what I am hearing from a couple of sources that I think are fairly good is they feel like it's Harshbarger, Crow, and Timothy Hill, honestly, who are all going to be bunched very, very closely together at the top. You know, I'm not going to make that prediction, but I am going to say that I do put a lot of stock in what those folks told me, and that's what they're thinking. They think that that Hill's being a little behind in that poll from last week may have been an anomaly, and I think they just don't know that Josh Gapp, who doesn't live in the district, and I don't know if people are going to hold that against him, you know, had enough in the tank to keep rising. And then you've got John Clark and Steve Darden, both of whom are not out of striking distance. So I think it's going to be a very interesting night.
Yeah, with the undecided, the percentage undecided, it could still be several people's election to win.
Real quick, as we're wrapping up, if Bill Hagerty loses tomorrow, is that a defeat for Donald Trump?
Well, what do you think people are going to say? I think that would be all over the top of some websites saying that it was. And, you know, I heard that he wanted to come campaign for Hagerty, and he was dissuaded from that. Actually, make a personal stop here. Yes, I would say probably, but interestingly enough, they're both saying that they're both complete pro-Trump supporters. So it's hard to say, but people are looking for that. That's for sure.
Jeff, thank you.
It's going to be an interesting night.
We'll be hanging out again tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll be right here tomorrow
night.
Yeah.
So,
and we will be here pretty much online for 2 hours. I was going to say, you know, two-ish
We're following
hours.
you, Sarah, so whenever you say
that is a mistake right there. But yeah, we will be online, and we will be looking at numbers as they come in. We'll have we'll get Jeff's take on it as well as the evening goes through and we get more results in.
And we're honestly going to be hoping and praying we can get through absentee ballots quickly, or else this could be a very long night tomorrow night.
Yeah. We want to thank you for joining us tonight on this little preview edition. We are your local election headquarters.
Absolutely. Sarah and I'll see you tonight at 11. We'll be back here with Jeff tomorrow around 8 o'clock-ish.
We'll
see you then.
Good night.